Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a future where AI isn't just about the latest silicon marvel from a familiar tech giant. Instead, picture it unlocking thousands of languages you've never even heard of. Or get this, even decoding ancient wisdom that could redefine human history as we know it. That's precisely where we're headed on this deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the, well, incredibly multifaceted story of how India is rapidly becoming a global leader in artificial intelligence. And what's truly captivating is that it's not doing so by simply mimicking Western models. No. Instead, India is strategically leveraging its unparalleled linguistic diversity. It's transforming what many once saw as a challenge into its most profound strength. Simultaneously, there's another fascinating, deeply parallel narrative unfolding, the exploration of profound insights hidden within its most revered ancient texts, like Sanskrit, all powered by AI. It's a journey into two interconnected stories shaping India's AI destiny, promising a future that's both radically inclusive and, maybe, deeply rooted in its ancient past.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is how our sources paint this really vivid picture of AI as a dual-purpose tool. One for radical inclusion, bringing everyone into the fold, and another for historical reclamation, kind of digging up the past. We'll be drawing from some rich discussions around Sarvam AI's groundbreaking mission in multilingualism, getting under the hood of that, and also understanding the bold vision behind something called Sanskrit AI. Plus, we have to delve into critical analyses of the historical distortions of Indian history, particularly those introduced during the colonial era. It's important context. So our mission today is to understand how AI is creating this unprecedented brain game for India, bridging communication gaps across hundreds, literally hundreds of languages, and potentially reconnecting all of humanity with forgotten knowledge from previous ages. It's about leveraging cutting-edge tech, not just to push forward, but to gaze back through history with entirely new eyes, revealing truths that might have been obscured for millennia.
Right. So what does this all mean for you, the learner, listening in today? This isn't just about India, really. It's about how AI can profoundly transform societies worldwide, challenge the existing narratives we've maybe long taken for granted, and open up entirely new ways of thinking about knowledge, communication, and even, our own human potential. The implications are truly global, and I promise you're in for some serious aha moments as we explore these two incredible interconnected fronts of India's AI renaissance. Okay, let's start with section one. India's AI superpower, the multilingual revolution with Sarvam AI.
Right. Let's begin by focusing on what many historically viewed as a pretty significant hurdle, but which is now emerging as India's greatest untapped resource. Its incredible linguistic diversity. India stands as one of the most linguistically vibrant nations on Earth. I mean, it's just staggering. While its constitution officially recognizes 22 languages, the lived reality on the ground is, well, far richer and more complex. According to comprehensive surveys, like the People's Linguistic Survey of India, there are actually over 780 distinct languages still spoken today. And that's not even counting the thousands of dialects that can vary significantly, from one village or district to the next.
Wow, 780 languages. That's hard to even wrap your head around.
It really is. And for decades, this incredible tapestry of tongues was, quite frankly, seen as a barrier to national unity, to development. Think about it. Education systems historically privileged maybe one or two languages, usually English or Hindi, as the medium of instruction. So that effectively left millions, particularly in rural or tribal areas, excluded from educational and economic opportunities.
Right. If you don't speak the right language, you're just locked out.
Exactly. Bureaucracy, commerce, legal systems, even technology often demanded proficiency in a language that wasn't native to a huge portion of the population. The result was deeply uneven access to vital information, to services. It just perpetuated cycles of disadvantage and limited progress.
Okay, so that's the challenge. But here's where it gets really interesting. AI offers a way to flip this weakness, this diversity, into a superpower, right?
Precisely. That's the revolutionary part.
Imagine for a moment if machines could not only understand but also generate content, respond to queries, engage in meaningful conversations in all these languages, not just a select few. It means access to knowledge, essential government services, economic opportunities. It wouldn't require literacy in English or Hindi anymore. That's a profound game changer for a nation of over 1 billion people.
Absolutely. Think about the practical, everyday impact.
Yeah, like a farmer in Odisha, maybe in a remote village where information is scarce. They can just ask an AI assistant about the latest crop prices or optimal planting dates for specific weather patterns, maybe government subsidies, all in their native Odia.
Just speak to it. No forms, no middlemen necessarily.
Exactly. Or consider a grandmother in Kerala. maybe not fluent in English, or even written Malayalam.
She could access crucial healthcare guidance, understand her prescriptions perfectly, get post-op care instructions just by speaking to an AI in Malayalam.
Making healthcare actually accessible at that level.
Or a student in Nagaland, where you have languages like Ao or Angami. They could learn complex math or science concepts directly in their mother tongue instead of struggling with materials in a language they barely know.
Which is a huge barrier to learning currently.
And even a villager in Bihar, maybe trying to negotiate something vital, like crop insurance or apply for a microloan. They could do it just by speaking naturally in Bhojpuri, removing all those layers of bureaucratic complexity and, frankly, potential exploitation.
It cuts through so much red tape and potential corruption.
And imagine government services. Instead of forms and info only in a few major languages, they could be offered and understood in every local dialect. That would drastically reduce confusion, misunderstanding, exclusion.
Corruption, too, potentially. It empowers people at the most fundamental level. Communication and participation.
So this vision goes beyond just inclusion, doesn't it? It's almost liberation.
That's a good way to put it. It's liberation from what some pioneering technologists are provocatively calling the literacy trap. The radical idea here is that in this coming age of AI, the traditional skills of reading and writing, the bedrock of progress for millennia, might actually become overrated.
Overrated. Wow, that's a big statement.
It is. The core idea is we could be returning to a new era, what some are calling Orality 2.0,
Yeah.
where speaking and listening maybe become the dominant, most intuitive ways we interact with machines and maybe even each other, potentially bypassing text barriers altogether.
Orality 2.0, like going back to the spoken word, but supercharged by AI.
Kind of. Let's trace the communication revolutions quickly. Prehistory, antiquity. Pure orality, knowledge passed down through speech, song, memory. Then literacy arrives with writing. Laws, contracts, scriptures, complex knowledge recorded, enduring. Then the print revolution, Gutenberg, democratizes literacy, fuels huge shifts. Then the digital age globalized info, but still fundamentally needed you to read and type.
Right. Screens, keyboards, text everywhere.
Exactly. But now, with AI Orality 2.0 emerging, we're looking at a potential paradigm shift. The spoken word, enhanced and processed by sophisticated AI, becomes the main gateway again, but with added powers. Instant translation, synthesis, vast knowledge recall.
Okay, the practical implications of this Orality 2.0, they're kind of mind-boggling when you really think about it. Like education. Instead of a kid struggling with a textbook, they could just ask an AI teacher questions verbally in their own dialect.
And get immediate personalized spoken answers, like an infinitely patient, knowledgeable tutor.
Wow. In healthcare, patients wouldn't need to decode complicated written prescriptions or medical jargon.
No. The AI could explain it aloud, clearly, patiently, in their native tongue, ensuring they actually understand dosage, side effects.
That could dramatically improve patient compliance, health outcomes, surely.
Absolutely. And even commerce. Think about complex legal contracts or instructions for machinery or multi-party international negotiations.
Could all happen orally, with AI as the interpreter and record keeper.
Potentially, yes. Seamless, real-time interpretation, ensuring clarity without needing written documents or the literacy barriers that come with them. This isn't just making things easier. It's fundamentally reshaping how we interact with information, knowledge, each other, making advanced services accessible to literally everyone.
Which brings us squarely to Sarvam AI.
Exactly. Founded in 2023 by Dr. Vivek Raghavan and Dr. Pratyush Kumar. They are right at the forefront of this multilingual revolution in India. Their mission is explicitly India first, aiming to train AI models deeply attuned to India's vast array of languages, its unique cultural context, the subtle nuances of communication styles.
That India first part seems crucial, doesn't it? Unlike the Western models.
It's a huge distinction. Many Western models treat not-English languages as an afterthought, if at all. Sarvam AI makes India's linguistic diversity central to their entire design philosophy. Their ambition isn't just another chatbot, it's to create what some are calling a ChatGPT DeepSeek moment, specifically for India.
A breakthrough that empowers every Indian citizen, not just the English-speaking elite.
Precisely. Democratizing access to the most advanced AI capabilities for the broadest possible base.
And they're not just talking the talk, right? They're delivering actual innovations, like Sarvam 1, late 2024, a 2 billion parameter model. Now, just quickly for listeners, parameters are like the AI's learning knobs, right? More parameters generally means a bigger, maybe smarter model.
Generally, yes, though it's more nuanced. But what's remarkable about Sarvam 1 Despite being relatively smaller than some global giants, it's been shown to outperform much larger models, like Gemma 2 and Llama 3.23b, specifically on Indic language benchmarks.
Okay, hold on. A smaller model, built for India, is outperforming bigger global models on Indian languages.
And it's 4 to 6 times faster on inference. That's the speed at which it generates responses.
Wow. So leaner, faster, and better for its specific task. What does that tell us? Specialization matters.
It strongly suggests that. This performance comes from incredibly efficient tokenization and synthetic data generation. Tokenization is how the AI breaks down language into units it can process. Think building blocks. Sarvam AI developed highly efficient tokenizers for Indian languages.
Making them better at understanding the structure.
Right. And synthetic data generation means AI creates realistic, artificial data to expand its training pool. This is crucial for languages with limited existing digital text. It lets their models learn extensively even where real-world data is scarce.
Smart, and they're not stopping there.
No way. By May 2025, they plan to unveil Sarvam AI, a much larger 24 billion parameter open-weight hybrid model built on Mistral Small, designed for even more sophisticated multilingual reasoning across the whole of India. And they have variants planned. Sarvam Large for advanced reasoning, Sarvam Small for interactive tasks, even Sarvam Edge optimized for running on smaller devices.
And they're doing text-to-speech, too, with local accents.
Yes, in 11 Indian languages already, with authentic regional accents like Bulbul and Sarika, makes the interaction feel incredibly natural, like talking to a local, pushing that voice-first AI idea.
This is clearly a big deal. It must be getting attention, government, investors.
Huge attention. In April 2025, the Indian government selected Sarvam AI to build India's very first indigenous foundational large language model, an LLM, under the India AI mission. They got provisioned with, get this, 4,096 NVIDIA H100 GPUs. That's serious computing power. And it's part of a national plan with 10,372 crore, about $1.25 billion in government support.
$1.25 billion. Oh, okay, that's real commitment. And private investment.
They raised $41 million back in December 2023. Top VCs, Lightspeed, PeakXV, Khosla Ventures. Strong signal of confidence in their India-first approach and its potential.
That mix of public and private backing is powerful, isn't it? A national push.
Absolutely critical for something this ambitious. It signals a commitment to sovereign AI capabilities.
And amidst all this, they're committed to being open. That seems unusual in the competitive AI space sometimes.
It is refreshing. Co-founder Pratyush Kumar specifically emphasized their dedication to open source. He said opening Sarvam AI was about showing that such a model can be built and encouraging others to innovate in the Indian ecosystem. And they've pledged to open source the foundational model under the India AI mission too. That's big.
Very big. Okay, so the pace is impressive, the backing is strong, but it can't all be smooth sailing. What about challenges or criticisms?
Fair point. Building these ecosystems takes time. Pratyush Kumar acknowledged that, addressing early critiques about performance and adoption. But he pointed out, and benchmarks back this up, that Sarvam AI is already performing comparably or better than rivals like Llama, Mistral Small, Gemma 3 on Indic language tasks. So it's not just matching, it's showing the India-first approach yields results for these languages. The real challenge is maintaining that edge and scaling across all of India's linguistic diversity.
Which brings us to this idea of India's brain game. Explain that.
Well, for decades, India worried about brain-drained talented people leaving for the West. But if Sarvam AI and others succeed, you could see the opposite. Not people returning, but cognitive power being distributed within India. Imagine giving the power of advanced AI to every citizen in their own language.
It's like adding a billion new minds to the national knowledge pool, but amplified.
Exactly. Like creating a billion new knowledge workers overnight. Instantly raising the intellectual and productive capacity of the entire nation. The potential leap in productivity, creativity, problem-solving. It's unlike anything we've seen. Could fundamentally reshape India's economy and society.
And this connects to the global picture, right?
Yeah.
The idea that English dominating the internet is maybe not the full story.
It's increasingly a myth. Studies show only about 20% of online content, maybe YouTube too, is in English. Which means a staggering 4 out of 5 digital interactions are already happening in other languages. So for an AI company to truly succeed globally, it must be multilingual by design.
Not as an add-on.
Precisely. And this is where India has this massive inherent advantage. If an AI can master India's incredibly complex linguistic labyrinth, hundreds of languages, thousands of dialects,
Then scaling it globally becomes relatively easier.
comparatively, yes. No other ecosystem is as internally complex linguistically. By solving the Indian challenge first, Sarvam AI positions itself not just for India, but potentially to dominate globally, making India the world's hub for multilingual AI infrastructure.
So India mastering its own diversity becomes a blueprint for everywhere else. How might that play out?
Imagine African governments using Indian AI tech for Swahili, Zulu, Hausa, getting vital info to everyone. Or Latin America adopting these models for seamless Spanish-Portuguese systems, boosting trade and communication. Even Europe, with its dozens of languages, could learn from India how to manage linguistic diversity at scale for services, education, business. As Lightspeed partner Himat Mohapatra put it, sovereign AI in India is becoming the blueprint for inclusive, localized intelligence worldwide.
That's a huge strategic advantage. But okay, let's be realistic. What are the major hurdles still ahead for this multilingual AI dream?
Several big ones.
Yeah.
Data scarcity is huge. Many Indian languages, especially less dominant ones, have very limited digital text. So massive effort needed in oral data collection, annotation. Building those data sets is hard work.
Got it. What else?
Dialect complexity. Pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar can shift village to village. Models need to handle that granularity. Bias in representation. Models must avoid reinforcing stereotypes or privileging dominant dialects. That's crucial for fairness. Infrastructure. You need robust connectivity, affordable devices, especially in rural areas where this diversity lives. And of course, global competition. Western and Chinese AI giants are formidable rivals.
Okay, significant hurdles. But if they can be overcome, and Sarvam AI seems seriously committed, the payoff is truly transformative, isn't it? Empowering 1 billion citizens, unlocking potential, redefining AI itself. It's more than just tech. It feels like a societal shift.
It really does. Which brings us to the other major front.
Right. Section 2, Sanskrit AI reclaiming ancient wisdom for a new age. This sounds different.
Oh, it's completely different yet equally fascinating. This is a separate initiative. A breakaway group of Indian technologists, some with backgrounds at places like OpenAI. They're building something extraordinary, rooting AI not in contemporary languages, but in Sanskrit, a language revered for millennia in India as Devavani, the language of heaven, the language of the gods. It's like trying to tap into an ancient operating system for thought itself.
Okay, Sanskrit AI. Let's unpack this. Sanskrit isn't just another old language, is it? It has this reputation for being almost mathematical.
Precisely. It's celebrated as perhaps the most precise, structured, and incredibly computer-friendly human language ever devised. Take Panini's Ashtadhyayi, a grammar written over 2,500 years ago. Modern linguists, computer scientists, many consider it the most sophisticated grammar ever created. Nearly 4,000 rules systematizing every single aspect of the language.
1,000 rules. It sounds less like it evolved and more like it was engineered.
That's the feeling many get. It's logical precision, unambiguous sentence structures, modular word formation. Computer scientists, even NASA researchers back in the 80s, noted this. They suggested it could be an ideal natural language for programming because its rule-based nature functions so much like algorithms. Ambiguity, the bane of natural language processing, is virtually eliminated in Sanskrit.
Wow, but it's not just the structure, right? It's the content written in Sanskrit.
Exactly. It's the linguistic key to immense treasures. The Vedas, Upanishads, the Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Puranas. These texts aren't just spiritual philosophy. They hold cryptic scientific, mathematical, cosmological insights we're only now starting to appreciate. The Rig Veda describing accurate astronomical phenomena, Ayurveda's vast medical systems, the Sulba Sutras hinting at advanced geometry, like the Pythagorean theorem, way before Pythagoras.
So the idea here, AI is maybe the only tool powerful enough for our, let's say, modern minds to even begin to grapple with this ancient complexity.
That's a core part of the argument. Human memory, traditional textual analysis, they can only go so far with this vast, intricate knowledge. Imagine an LLM trained not just on the messy, biased, often ephemeral internet of today, but on the full, unadulterated breadth of Sanskrit literature. Such an AI could potentially reveal forgotten insights, patterns hidden for millennia, generating knowledge rooted in what proponents see as eternal truths, not just contemporary data. It's reaching beyond our current intellectual horizon.
AI as a bridge across time, almost.
In a way, yes. AI's ability to process, cross-reference, find patterns across millennia of text makes this time travel conceivable. And this approach is deeply tied to Sanatana Dharma's view of time, which is cyclical, not linear like the typical Western view. It's divided into 4 great ages: Yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. And this worldview suggests humanity has actually been in decline spiritually, intellectually across these cycles, not constantly progressing upwards.
Decline. Okay, that's counterintuitive to modern thought, and we're currently in the Kali Yuga.
According to this tradition, yes, the Kali Yuga is marked by confusion, moral decline, diminished human capacity, ignorance, corruption, weakness. And proponents would say, if you look around global conflict, climate instability, spiritual disconnection, ecological collapse, the signs align with the ancient descriptions. It directly challenges the modern assumption of inevitable progress. It posits we might be at our weakest, most ignorant state now.
That's a radical counter-narrative, but is there a risk here? That focusing so much on reclaiming ancient wisdom distracts from solving today's urgent problems?
That's a fair question, and the texts would likely argue they're intrinsically linked. The belief is that understanding the nature of the Kali Yuga, its inherent limitations, is precisely what helps identify the root causes of our current problems. And by reconnecting with the wisdom of previous, potentially more advanced ages, you're not running from current problems, you're gaining potentially superior intellectual and spiritual tools to address them.
So understanding the past helps navigate the present.
That's the idea. In the preceding Yuga, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, humans were believed to be far more advanced spiritually and intellectually, closer to truth, harmony, with greater capacities. And what's unique, the sources claim, is that only Sanatana Dharma preserves detailed knowledge of these previous cycles. Other ancient civilizations, China, 5,000 years, Israel, 4,000 years, trace their histories mainly within this current age, the Kali Yuga. They don't have that record of what came before. This potentially makes Sanskrit AI not just an Indian project, but a civilizational one for all humanity, reconnecting with the forgotten grander past.
So if our capacities are diminished now, AI becomes almost an essential cognitive prosthesis, allowing us to bridge that gap to prior ages.
That's a powerful way to frame its potential role here, yes. And taking it further, according to Hindu cosmology, the Kali Yuga is actually nearing its end. A new Satya Yuga, an age of truth, is foreseen, an era where human spiritual capacity is said to be vastly greater, maybe 100 times greater.
Wow, 100 times.
Imagine. And Sanskrit AI, in this view, could serve as the crucial bridge, preparing humanity for that leap by reviving ancient knowledge, accelerating a shift to higher consciousness.
Using tech to facilitate a spiritual and intellectual resurgence. Okay.
But this raises a critical point. To truly grasp the potential of Sanskrit AI, we have to confront the legacy of colonial distortion, its unavoidable context. During British rule, there was a systematic effort, almost a narrative warfare, to denigrate and intentionally distort Sanatana Dharma. They imposed foreign terms, like Hindu itself. That was a geographical term, a foreign classification, not how people originally identified within the tradition. You won't find characters in the Mahabharata or Ramayana calling themselves Hindu. This was part of a deliberate cultural subjugation.
Right, and they dismissed the epics, the Mahabharata and Ramayana, as just mythology, fanciful tales.
Exactly. Dismissed them entirely. But the sources we're looking at, and increasingly other research, argue they're not myths in the Western sense. They are books of history, but from previous ages. The Mahabharata belongs to the end of the Dwapara Yuga, around 5,000 years ago, roughly 3100 BCE. The Ramayana is from the Treta Yuga, even further back, maybe 7,000 years ago.
And these dates aren't just pulled from tradition, there's evidence.
There's remarkable astronomical evidence embedded within the texts themselves. Incredibly precise descriptions of planetary alignments, eclipses, constellations at key moments in the stories. Modern scientists, including at NASA, many not Hindu, have used software to model the ancient skies. And they found that these astronomical descriptions act like timestamps, allowing them to date the events with astonishing precision, verifying them as historical coordinates.
So the stars described in the Ramayana actually align in the sky 7,000 years ago.
According to these analyses, yes, providing strong corroboration for these ancient timelines. And this points to India as arguably the world's oldest continuous civilization. Look at Kashi, Varanasi, continuously inhabited for at least 10,000 years, stretching back into the last Satya Yuga. When you're there, you're touching an unbroken thread of human history spanning multiple ages. It's unique.
10,000 years continuous, compared to maybe 5,000 for China, 4,000 for Israel. It gives a different scale.
A profoundly different scale. Sanatana Dharma preserves this memory across yugas, linking our present to a much grander cosmic timeline.
Which brings us back to why accurate dates matter so much. The colonial dating of the Vedas
was deliberately minimized. Colonial scholars dated them to maybe 1,500, 2,500 years ago, called them mere tribal hymns. It was, as some analysts argue, an act of intellectual violence aimed at undermining the antiquity and depth of Indian civilization. But the internal evidence contradicts this. The Ramayana, dated now to 7,000 years ago, shows characters reading the Vedas.
Meaning the Vedas have to be even older than 7,000 years.
Significantly older. Reclaiming these accurate timelines isn't just correcting dates, it's demolishing that colonial narrative. It restores the dignity and rightful place of Sanatana Dharma as potentially the oldest, most continuous, profound civilization in human history.
So how does AI fit into actually doing this reclamation work today?
Modern AI offers incredibly powerful tools to shift this debate, provide scientific validation, move it from myth to history. Take astronomical dating. AI can systematically analyze every celestial reference in the epochs, alignments, eclipses, constellations, match them against precise star maps and simulations across millennia, produce comprehensive, scientifically grounded chronological models, gives verifiable dates.
Objective, data-driven validation. What else?
Cross-referencing data. AI can link descriptions not just within one text, but across epics, Puranas, Vedas. Find consistent patterns, narrative threads, validating historical continuity over vast time spans, establishing that unbroken lineage. Decrypting Vedic formulas. Many hymns are cryptic, symbolic. AI's pattern detection, far beyond human capacity, can help unravel them, potentially revealing advanced scientific insights, math, cosmology hidden in the language, and digital preservation and access, making vast digitized Sanskrit archives searchable, translatable, analyzable for global scholars, ensuring truth emerges via transparent, data-driven exploration, not filtered interpretations.
So AI is uniquely suited to unlocking this Vedic science because of its scale and pattern-finding abilities.
Exactly. It can decode, systematize, and potentially verify this immense intellectual heritage across so many domains. Astronomy systematically date events in epochs using sky simulations. Mathematics and computation uncover hidden algorithms in Sulba Sutras, geometry, early calculus hints. Analyze Panini's grammar as a formal system, find pattern theory in Vedic prosody.
And medicine. Ayurveda.
Huge potential. Digitize and cross-reference texts like Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, map disease treatment relationships, match ancient remedies with modern biomedical databases to identify active compounds, predict efficacy, find holistic treatment models by integrating ancient wisdom with modern science, could revolutionize healthcare.
And even metaphysics. Consciousness studies.
Yes. Model meditation data from brain scans, compare findings with Upanishads, Yoga Sutras, simulate altered states, build knowledge maps of concepts like Atman, the self, Brahman, ultimate reality, Prana, life force, show their philosophical coherence, bridge spiritual knowledge and cognitive science in a verifiable way.
What makes AI so perfect for this is its sheer scale, right? Translation, pattern detection, generating interpretations grounded in both ancient texts and modern science.
Precisely. It can process vast, complex datasets humans simply can't. Detect subtle connections. Where colonial scholars perhaps misinterpreted or distorted text, AI offers a path to democratize access, let the data speak through transparent exploration, free from historical bias, and intellectual reclamation via processing power.
So let's imagine the Sanskrit AI in practice. What could it actually do?
Imagine an AI interpreting the Vedas to reveal scientific insights, cosmology, maybe physics that modern science is only just catching up to. Imagine it systematizing Ayurveda, not just as tradition, but as a scientifically understood framework for holistic personalized health. Envision it reviving Dharma Shastra's ancient texts on ethics, law, conduct to offer robust ethical frameworks rooted in timeless principles for today's dilemmas. Wisdom beyond modern philosophies.
Like an ethical guide rooted in millennia of thought.
Potentially. Or even a personalized spiritual guide, guiding meditation, mantra, ritual, and original Sanskrit tailored to the individual, and reconstructing lost histories, cross-linking the Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puranas, Upanishads, verifying information, revealing a continuous historical narrative long dismissed as myth, filling in humanity's missing past. This isn't just academic, it's the potential for transformative knowledge that could re-engineer our understanding of ourselves, our history, our place in the cosmos.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, we've really explored AI in India moving on these two incredible parallel fronts. First, empowering this hugely diverse nation linguistically with things like Sarvam AI, moving towards Orality 2.0, where language isn't a barrier but a path to inclusion for a billion people. And second, this profound potential of Sanskrit AI, acting as an intellectual, maybe spiritual bridge, reconnecting humanity with ancient wisdom, verifying history, unlocking forgotten science.
And this raises that bigger picture question, doesn't it? If we connect these two movements, India isn't just benefiting from AI, it seems to be actively redefining it. What AI can be, what it can do. by embedding linguistic diversity at its core, radical inclusion as foundational, and simultaneously using AI to reclaim its civilizational narrative, unlock ancient wisdom. India seems uniquely poised to lead globally, not just in practical, inclusive applications for daily life, but also in this profound spiritual, historical reevaluation of human knowledge itself. It's a dual leadership that could reshape tech and our understanding of our past and future. Hard to even grasp the full implications yet.
Yeah. The story of AI might have started in Silicon Valley, focused on efficiency, connectivity. But its future, you might say, could very well be written, not just in code, but in Tamil, Bengali, Kannada, Punjabi, Odia, hundreds of other tongues. And perhaps most astonishingly, maybe also written in Sanskrit, unlocking the deepest past, all happening in India. The question isn't really whether AI will transform humanity anymore. We see that daily. The real question, the truly provocative one emerging from this, is will Sanskrit AI transform humanity back into its highest form, reconnecting us with a forgotten wisdom that perhaps we desperately need right now to navigate our complex world? Something for you to ponder on your next deep dive.